Hey guys, how's it going? Value Venture Investing here today. So we finally got the news today. The $35,000 Model 3 has arrived. And I must say, I'm a little bit surprised. It's a little bit earlier than we anticipated. Usually Elon is a little bit late. So let's take a look at the stock right now. Looks like the market actually isn't loving it too much. We're down a little over 3% as of looking at this, as of recording this video, that is. But that's not really particularly abnormal, as we've seen this stock kind of just rise lately. Even after these SEC allegations, again, Elon's back at it. If you're not aware, the Securities and Exchange Commission is after Elon again, saying that he actually violated the agreement that he was going to check with Tesla before he did any tweets. And this was referring to a tweet that he talked about I think it was about 500,000 vehicles going to China or something like that. And I guess their argument is that this is material information that can move the stock. However, it's kind of funny looking at what the SEC does, because whatever they tend to release actually probably moves the stock more than what Elon does. But I really think what's going on with this is that it's basically he's annoyed the SEC. I mean, you mess with the SEC and this is what they're going to do. And at this point, I really almost don't feel like it's actually about him like obstructing justice or anything like that. I think it's the fact that he's really pissed them off. And this is kind of their way to getting back at them. I mean, this it sounds kind of petty, but this is my opinion. And of course, Elon should just keep his mouth shut, but he's proud. I mean, this is something that's very indicative of people. Like they're very successful, smart, proud. They're very sure of themselves. Steve Jobs was like this too, right? So he just can't help himself when he knows that he's right. He tends to push and he tends to prod, and he's actually been saying lately that he thinks that there's something seriously wrong with the SEC. So what's going to happen with that? I don't know. I mean, nothing really happened last time. But remains to be seen. I mean, that's some kind of negative news on the company. But back to the actual news, what happened today. Let's take a look at what they actually released here. So looking on the US Tesla website here, we can see that they hit that $35,000. And keep in mind that that's before savings. Now it's very smart of them to do it this way, because that tax credit is going to be disappearing very soon. But after savings is $26,950 American. That's amazing, right? Even that $35,000 price is very, very impressive. I don't know if they're gonna be able to become profitable, but continue to be profitable. We'll talk about that in a minute here. So this comes with the standard range. So top speed of 130 miles per hour, range of 220 miles, and of course 0 to 60 in 5.6, which is fast because of course it's an electric vehicle. You also have the option to go to the standard range plus, they're calling it, and that gives you another 20 miles. So I mean, there's that little option. I have a feeling that a lot of people actually might go for that. And then before savings, that one is $37,000. Of course, you can option this thing back up to nearly $50,000. But when you look at how much people spend on luxury vehicles, this isn't so far out of the ballpark anymore. My major concern would be the fact that are sedans still going to be popular? I mean, this one is extremely popular because it's a Tesla, because the technology packed in, the self-driving technology, which I think is amazing. That's what I love about the car. But it's the price range isn't off. But then again, are we looking in the right demographics, or are we looking in the right trends? I don't know. Another thing you got to look at is that this is not in other countries. This is in America. So I thought I'd look at Canada. Here I'm in Canada right now. So when you switch this over to Canada, so as we can see here, even in Canada, which things are generally speaking more expensive in Canada because of the strength of the US dollar, as well as other places in the world as well, we have the standard range here. After savings, $35,900. Of course, before savings, it's pretty expensive. But again, even for like a Canadian, these prices are coming down. I'm quite impressed. So heading back to the US side, we can add other features. Again, autopilot here is $3,000. It's $4,000 if it's after delivery. And we can actually go on to full self-driving capability. So that's for another $5,000. So when you're looking at the price of this vehicle, It's $43,000 US before savings. That's pretty impressive. Considering you're having this full self-driving capability. What's coming is it's going to be able to read street signs. It's going to be able to do a lot more than it's doing right now. This is getting into some pretty autonomous stuff. And after savings, it's looking at like $35,000. So if you look at that price and you look at what people are generally paying in terms of payments, even in Canada here, a lot of people don't even care about the price of the vehicle. They only care about what the payment's going to be. So this is something that could really drive the needle in terms of mass market appeal. And this is, of course, Elon's objective. We might actually be able to achieve economies of scale. So my biggest problem with Tesla is that they were unable to be profitable, but they kind of proved me wrong last quarter. And they've been doing that by cutting costs. So again, here they're cutting costs a little bit more. They're shutting down all their retail stores, it seems like, and they're going to be going strictly online. So this is something I applaud a lot, actually, because this is a new way of selling, right? Tesla's not traditional. It's kind of counterintuitive in a lot of different ways, and I think it's smart in a lot of ways. We think of traditional auto manufacturers, they're kind of like in the dinosaur. They're kind of in the old age. They're playing catch up, right? And they all have dealerships, the dealership model. Well, what do a lot of people do now? They shop online, right? What do a lot of old companies do? They advertise on TV, they advertise on radio. Tesla does none of that. They don't waste a lot of money on that kind of stuff, right? And it makes a lot of sense when you look at my generation, you look at even individuals younger than me, millennials, the next generation, I don't even know what that is. We're not watching TV. I don't even have TV. I'm on YouTube, I'm on different aspects, and that's where you need to get your audience. Spending money on these other ones, I don't know, spending money on advertising, unless you're pushing the right areas like Facebook or different areas like that, it might be a bit of a waste of money. So they're not even doing that. They're pushing away from the retail space, going directly online. That's going to make them more profitable. So I highly applaud that, and that makes me really reconsider my position on Tesla. Maybe they will become even more profitable as the future comes. However, there was one negative thing that came out, one negative comment here. And in this comment, Musk warned of a loss as Tesla winds down these stores, like I said, to cut the Model 3 cost. Now, he was saying we're going to be profitable going forward. This is something that could be really negative with the news, right? I mean, a lot of shorts are going to basically be going, oh, see, I told you so, sort of thing. So basically going to the news article here, it says, Elon Musk is delivering on one big promise, a $35,000 Model 3, while falling short on another, that Tesla's days of losing money are over. The article goes on to say, given that there's a lot happening in Q1 and we're taking a lot of one-time charges, and there's a lot of challenges getting cars to China and Europe, we do not expect to be profitable in Q1, Musk said on a call with reporters. We do not think that profitability in Q2 is likely. So again, we're going back to sort of the way it was before, where Tesla's not profitable. However, they are pushing in that general direction. So we kind of have these winds going these headwinds, one going one way, one going the other way. So I'm going to maintain my position on this company that I'm very uncertain of, and I'm very skeptical of it. However, I will give credit where credit is due, and I really like the move that was made today. Not only just the $35,000 and the pricing that they're having, but also getting out of the retail stores as well. There was also some other good news that came out lately about them not having to issue any more debt. Of course, they'll be able to pay their debt payment here. I believe it's $900 and some million. That would have potentially not had to be paid if the stock price was higher, because the shareholders or the bondholders could convert them for Tesla shares. Of course, that's not the case. So some people have made the argument that if Tesla or Elon Musk had kept his mouth shut and that the board would have kept him in order, that they might not have had to pay that money. Well, that's speculation. I don't know about that, but that's another good thing. But again, it's going to be cash tight going forward, and that's why they're making these moves. They're making all these moves to tighten. They're streamlining their operations and to try to get those economies of scale. So it's going to be very interesting watching Tesla, seeing what's going on. Like I said, you guys, I have a small position. I have a very small position, so I'm not too worried about it. Something like I have like $5,000 or something. So in terms of my portfolio, it's a very small position. But I'm going to be looking at it closely, and I might even add, and if that's the case, I'll let you guys know. I'll do a video. But very interesting news coming out of Tesla. We'll see what happens. That's going to be it for today, guys. We'll see you in the next one.